Right, we're now joined with Peter Apps, a local author and a member of the Sittingbourne and Sheppey Writers Group. Welcome along to the show, Peter.
Thank you.
Firstly, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've lived on the island all my life. I've always been interested in history, and the island has got quite a lot of it. If you want to write about mutinies, rebellions, invasions, then the island is the ideal place to be.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your book, Peter?
That often depends on who you ask. Now, my publisher has described it as a sexy romp.
Right.
Friends of mine who've read it agree with me, there's no sex in it. Now, I made a couple of my characters gay, and a friend of mine, she doesn't like science fiction, she doesn't like gay issues, and she was quite struck by the relationships between the two main characters and the village where they lived.
Right.
But I like to think it's a simple, straightforward adventure story. It's set in space. One of the characters discovers how to build a portal that lets them travel to distant galaxies, and the other character becomes the explorer using it. Again, I like to think they find out more about themselves than they do about travelling through space, but they do have sort of adventures and discovering new civilizations, going where no one's gone before, and that sort of thing.
Peter, what is the most common question you're asked?
Well, how real is the science? Sometimes it starts an argument about how real should a fictional book be? How accurate should the facts be? Now I'm writing about someone who can travel just by stepping through a tube into the next galaxy. That obviously is pure fiction. But at another point, they're actually building a space station and working weightless.
Right.
Now that part of it, I would like to think an astronaut could read the story, read that part and say yes, it could happen. Or better still, be slightly jealous because my characters, if they come up with a problem, can nip back down to the pub, talk about it over a couple of pints, then go and sort it out.
We are joined with Peter Apps, a local author and a member of the Sittingbourne and Sheppey Writers Group here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. Right, we're back joined with Peter Apps, a local author. We're talking about his most recent book he's writing, The Long Way Round, a member of the Sittingbourne and Sheppey Writers Group. Peter, what made you decide to write it?
Well, nowadays I tend to watch movies rather than read. And I was just getting fed up with the latest so-called blockbuster where you've got some guy in a submarine popping the baddies off one by one, or another confined space where the goodies are being popped off one by one, and I just thought there had to be something a bit more.
Yeah.
And I suppose I decided, well, put your money where your mouth is, give it a go. So I sat down in front of a computer and tried to see how many words I could string together. And it started from there. But as I say, there are so many cliches in books and in films. You almost know what's going to happen before you see it or read it. So there's no macho ex-services, no feisty female trying to prove she's as good as a man. None of the things, and definitely no zombies.
Yeah. Now I understand there's been a lot of interest in this book.
Oh yeah, well, nationally and internationally, to be honest, nobody's interested unless you're already known.
Right.
But if you're not known, how do you get the interest?
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle. But locally, it's been phenomenal. I mentioned in the pub once or twice, yes, I've written a book, and I thought people would say, oh yeah, that's fine. What's next?
Yeah.
But no, the interest has carried on. I get stopped in the street and asked how it's doing. And it is all good fun.
Yeah,
I really like the interest, and well, it prompts me to keep going and seeing what else I can do.
If our listeners would like to find out more, do you have any contact details?
Now, the main character in the novel is called Stuart Johnson. So my website address is www.sjtales.com. sjtales.co.uk. Email is peter@sjtales.co.uk, and my phone number is 01795 583 102.
Peter, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along.
And it was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
That's Peter Apps, a local author and member of the Sheppey and Sittingbourne Writers Group.